Hi, I'm Kian Hall, and this is Queer and Disabled. Yo, Kian here. I'm also on my YouTube channel. I'm known as Dorki Duck, mostly because of this guy. He's Duckington Quacksworthy. His main hobbies are waddling and wheezing. Doesn't really squeak, but he tries. He's my little asthma buddy, except that my asthma is actually silent, so I don't wheeze. He sort of makes up for that. Squeak would be better. It's just a terrible noise. I'm sorry, Duckington. You know you're my friend, but you're a terrible conversationalist. Yeah, so on my YouTube channel I do some videos like cosplay videos and some vlogging. So most of my cosplay videos, it's sort of, you dress up as a character, and then usually for me I do that with a music video, so I'll dress up as the character and then I'll lip sync to a song and then sort of edit the video together, and yeah, it's called a cosplay music video. They're quite fun. I don't have as many of them as I probably should. I'm honestly a little bit negligent with my channel. But, hopefully this project will sort of help me get a bit more on track and keep on track a bit better with my channel. Yeah, so I'm 25, I'm Australian, and I want to be a writer. So actually I'm about to be published with a poem that I wrote, which is really exciting. It's in Cordite. You should check out that journal. Yeah, it's mostly a poetry journal. And on the 1st of November, they're putting out a trans queer issue, which is where my poem's going to be. So that's pretty exciting there. Yeah, but that's not until the 1st of November, so it's a little while in the future. But yeah, it's very exciting for me. First time being published, so yay. At the moment, I'm writing my first novel. So it's a young adult fantasy set in modern Australia in regional Victoria. I don't live in regional Victoria. I recently moved to Melbourne from Sydney. It's cold in Melbourne. And I know most people in the world are probably going to be like, you're Australian. What do you know about cold? You will shut up. I know enough. It's cold, okay? Yeah, it's not that cold, but it feels cold. Feels cold here. Anyway. Yeah, so Australian, live in Victoria, Melbourne. I've been here for a couple of months now. They have been an interesting couple of months. So, before I moved, like 2 weeks before I moved, so right, in the middle of moving interstate, and I got appendicitis. I had to get my appendix removed, and then, then I moved interstate, and then I got here and got tonsillitis, which was also a sinus infection. And then now I've got tendinosis in my hip, which has lasted for longer than it's supposed to and isn't really going anywhere. Yeah, so that sort of brings me nicely into disability sort of part of this, because of course the project is about queer and disabled, so it's sort of about, both of those things. Yeah, so I have hyperflexible Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, I know there's at least one other person with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome doing this project, so I'm not going to go into that much detail about it. I'll just sort of talk about my experiences more so than the technical medical stuff about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So, yeah, just a quick technical thing. It's a connective tissue disorder. For me, it affects mostly joints, but it also causes a few other things. Like I mentioned earlier, asthma, that's caused by the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And then there's also things like gastroparesis, which is a stomach thing. Basically, I don't digest food good. I'm not good at things. And then also the tendinosis, which is a joint thing. Well, no, actually it's a tendon thing. But yeah, that's more obviously connected to hyperflexibility. Yeah, so I've recently turned 25, and it was a bit funny actually. So I got from my mum, I got a walker, which is, a mobility device for when a walking stick won't cut it anymore. And from my sister, I got a picture book. Yeah. So I feel very mixed aged. Yeah, so for me, yeah, the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is sort of the main problem in my life, I suppose. It causes a lot of issues for me, it causes a lot of fatigue, a lot of blah stuff. And then I've also got complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which basically it's where the trauma happens over an extended period of time, and so it forms differently, I guess, to other PTSD because it's prolonged trauma rather than an incident. So that's fun. And I also have ADHD, which I mostly manage it, but it sort of causes complications sometimes with the other conditions, especially Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, with things like, oh, you're injured, you need to rest. And then my ADHD is like, let's do stuff. Let's like bounce around and go for a walk. I want to go for a walk. And my joints don't want to do that. But yeah, as I said, mostly I've got the ADHD under control. That's just sort of a quirk, I suppose, more than a disability for me. But the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome causes more issues than anything else, really. But yeah, it doesn't stop me writing as long as I keep my room warm enough that my hands still work, because if they get too cold, they stop working. So that's fun. But yeah, basically I just need to keep the room warm enough and I can write, and so my main reason for living isn't really affected by the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, so it's all good. So as I was mentioning before, I'm writing a novel. No idea what to call it, because the only thing I've got at the moment is a huge spoiler, which wasn't supposed to be, but now... Anyway, I'll talk about my writing more on my own channel. Not relevant here. As you can see from the wall behind me, I do go femme quite often. I am genderqueer, my pronouns are they, them. But femme is just more fun, to be honest. Like, pretty dresses and stuff, they're just fun. And then you can do makeup, which I haven't bothered with today, because I usually don't, but sometimes it's fun. Sometimes. I haven't bothered with makeup and stuff for a little while because of my hip stuff. Like, I haven't been able to leave the house very much, so I'm getting pretty stir crazy. So femme is fun. One of the other reasons that femme is just more fun is I can go and buy these dresses. So like all of these are from op shops and they're all under $10. Whereas like including the one I'm wearing, whereas if you want to present more masculine and have it really cool, like wear like a cool suit and a vest or something, or like a cool long overcoat, you look at so much money. So much money. Whereas these like dresses, as I mentioned, super cheap. Just go to op shops. It's awesome. A lot of these dresses are actually very new. So when I heard I was getting published, I went out and a bit of a shopping spree, bought some dresses at op shops. I bought like 7 dresses and it was $45. It's not bad. I love op shops. So that's pretty much me. I'm 25, Australian, genderqueer, they, them pronouns. I'm a writer. And I'm actually getting published, and that is so exciting. And I haven't actually announced that on my channel yet. I really am so slack with my channel. Need to get on that. I promise I will. Yeah. Alright, well, me and Duckington here are gonna duck off. Bye. Sorry about the pun.